VLR.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else. This is Battle for Freedom with your host, Watson Prunier.
Hi, Watson Prunier here on Battle for Freedom on Vigilant Liberty Radio, and I am glad that you're tuning in. This is my last show for the year, and just really excited about where God has allowed me to be and all this time. I'm going to have a very good friend who's going to join us, but I also wanted to remind you that I've got the best engineer on this side of the Atlantic running things in the background. That's Jessica, another great
Thank you,
friend that
sir.
I've made since just being part of talk radio. And this is just going to be a great time. You know what? Let me just introduce him. This is a good friend of mine that I met a few months ago when I started up on the radio. And what's been really exciting is we have an opportunity to do a show on Mondays. He has his own network. It's called Quagmire America and Quagmire America Radio. And we have been having a great time on Monday nights at 10 p.m. And he has his own show on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. And sometimes he even brings in a few of the Q girls who, and I'll let him explain that. His name is Jason Wade Taylor. Jason, you there?
I'm here, brother. How are you?
I am. I'm doing really great. If you don't mind, I know I just done some pimping for you. You can just pay me under the table later, but uh, give everybody a little bit more money. I mean, information, or just kind of fill in the blanks where I might have slipped up.
Sure. I had Quagmire America Radio over on BTR, Block Talk Radio, for some time. I've been doing radio for, gosh, I don't know, probably 4 years now. I'm a writer. I work for a publication here in Houston, Texas, and you can simply follow the show over on BTR at QARlive.com, QARlive.com, and like Watson was telling everybody, me and Watson are together on Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, and then I have my show on Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on Quagmire America Radio on BTR, and that's I'm joined by the Q girls, Angie and Catherine.
Yeah, and and soon they'll probably have their own show. Now it's interesting how it's interesting because I'm going to share how is that we kind of came to pass. We were just talking about topics on Twitter, and we were just sharing information with one another, and it was really strange because Jason was like, "Hey, man, I would love to have you on my show," and and the dynamics of how this had evolved was a lot like how everything did to allow me to be where I am now, because I used to call in a lot and speak with Mike Miller, who's with Mike Hausum on the right mics Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. To 3 p.m. They did their last show today, but definitely tune in next week at 2 p.m. on Vigilant Liberty Radio. And what's been really exciting about this is, Mike encouraged me, and on our previous network, he was, when he learned that I was going to be given an opportunity to go live, he gave me he said, "Hey, man," he just encouraged me. And not only did he encourage me, but I also got encouragement from Jason. But it was interesting because when I agreed to come on his show, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, trolls started coming in and just saying, "Oh no, stay away from this guy," blah blah blah, shooting a lot of information. You know, when you Google search Jason Wade Taylor, you're going to find a lot of troll sites for individuals who basically try and slam him because they have nothing better to do. And there's a big background to Jason on what he's done before to earn him such a high degree of hatred.
Yeah.
But it's just it was great, because I got a little bit annoyed. I was like, dude, what's the story with all these people, filling up and clogging up my Twitter page with comments about you. And so he gave me his number, he called, we spoke, and he explained everything to me. And the thing is interesting is we all have mistakes we've done in the past, and if we were judged by our past, none of us would be qualified for anything to do in life because we would all be condemned by our pasts. And these trolls sadly are living in the past. They're living in the Stone Ages in many ways. But so once I'd agreed, you know what, God just put it on my heart. He said, "Go ahead, just go on Jason's show. It's not going to be bad," and it has been great ever since. Now, when I agree to do so, that's when the trolls went crazy. Then I'm a dumb nigger. I'm just too stupid, and I'm gonna be his next biatch, and all those stupid things. And now they're posting stuff about me online, and they're posting my past and things like that online, and actually making verbal threats to expose more of me. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, go ahead, throw the stuff out there. But for you who are breaking the law, and have they go out of their way to basically, Jessica, it's really sad. They go out of their way to paint Jason as this crazy felon and this crazy person. But when you see their behavior, they turn around and commit federal crimes, but sit here and continue to call Jason the criminal. And so, if anything, I would probably say for any of you who go through the problems with trolls, I remember talking to Miller about this last week, and he just mentioned, sadly, even people like Michelle Malkin get slammed by trolls, by people who would just have a crazy hatred for successful people. And there's no way to deny that Michelle Malkin is pretty successful in her life. She's probably one of the great figures out there that a lot of us can respect and look up to. And it was interesting, Jessica, yesterday, and I don't know if I haven't given out the number yet because I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to give you the headache of having to filter out all the trolls that are probably going to call in. We had a few of them call in and actually even insult Catherine, who's one of the Q girls. And she said something really good, interesting. She said, many of you who would go out of your way to insult a woman like this and talk and say derogatory statements like this, it really shows your lack of class, your lack of chivalry, your lack of everything. And I was like, yeah, that sums it up right about right. But one of the things that I'm just really happy for is I'm glad I have my relationship and my friendship with Jason, as well as my relationship and friendship with everybody on Vigilant Lib. Well, not everybody, because I still have yet to meet some of the other hosts on Vigilant Liberty Radio. But me, Mike Miller, Jess, Housem, Liz. It's and you know what, and Travis, thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. And and even I'm just really grateful for the people that we have, and why I went through all this history and all this information is that uh, I'm trying to encourage people: do not let anyone try and get in the way of your dreams or your visions of where you believe that you are talented and gifted to go. There's going to be a lot of haters. There are going to be a lot of individuals who are going to want to tear you down. If Jason wants to elaborate more on some of the things that they've done, he's free to do so. But he doesn't have to, because we can talk about other things. But I'm just saying, be encouraged and understand that, if you are willing to put the work in to be successful at your craft. Understand there's going to be hardship that's going to come through, but you know what? Through the crucible, you come out polished, you come out refined. Now they may think that they've accomplished something big and suspending your Twitter account or spamming you on Facebook and everything like that because social media is all they have. But for the rest of us who understand that those media outlets don't define who we are, um, I just encourage you to continue to press on and uh, pursue your dreams. Don't let it stop you. Don't let anyone tell you that it can't be done. Actually, within the next quarter, by the end of Q1, I hope to have a good revelation for the listening audience, not just on this network, but even on Blog Talk Radio, to see a tool that I think will be very useful for all of us in a way that in a medium that we can all communicate and have a great time encouraging one another to success. So, Jason, was there anything you wanted to include on some of the drama you dealt with, or you just want
Sure.
to just put on the rose-colored glasses and let's just go positive the rest of the way? Your choice, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll briefly explain, kind of to your listeners, Watson, how really a lot of this started. Some 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, me, myself, and a small group of conservatives, um, with the help of some funding from different conservative groups, um, I infiltrated and literally infiltrated the progressive, radical, liberal left on social media and in the real world. Um, it got very deep. I was, I liken it to because it's no different. I was playing a role, much like if anybody has seen the movie Donnie Brasco. That's a great representation. It's a true story of an FBI agent that goes undercover in the mob, and he becomes so wrapped up, and it's been so many years wrapped up inside the mob that it was literally affecting him physically and mentally. And I went through all the big. I was there for the Susan G. Komen Foundation takedown. When Susan G. Komen pulled their $700 and some odd $1,000 funding from Planned Parenthood, the liberals went nuts. And in the grand scheme of things, that wasn't nothing to Planned Parenthood. But the liberals and the progressives went nuts, and they attacked the Susan G. Komen Foundation's advertisers, and almost put them completely under. And but I was still working inside the left, and I couldn't. There wasn't much I could do. And then came Rush Limbaugh's comments about Sandra Fluke and calling her a quote slut on his radio show. Well, the progressives and the liberals went nuts again, and they were ready. And it started at the very top with George Soros and his funded organization, Media Matters for America, to Angelo Corzine, who is now the vice president of Media Matters for America. I came out. I had no choice. They were going to basically end Russia's. They'd already taken about 300 advertisers away in probably a matter of 3 or 4 days. So I had no choice as I got with my little team that I had working around me and some of the people that were funding the operation. We had no choice but to come out. I had no choice but to out myself, and I did so. And I wrote. I had a website that was up and ready to launch the minute we were prepared. So when I came out, the website launched. It had a detailed description of everybody that was involved inside of Stop Rush. And I'm not talking about little names here. I'm talking about big names. That's the reason these people hate me so bad. These are progressives.